Welcome to Facts Pro, where it's all about facts, financial, accounting, and tax strategies. Today, we talk about another advanced tax strategy for those who ran out of other basic tax strategies. They don't know how to leverage the tax code for the furthest benefit, and they don't know what else they can do in order to reduce their tax bill. What am I talking about? I'm talking about those who have some philanthropic needs or I mean they're more into like donating, but they want to donate in a very strategic way that they can that can give them the biggest benefit. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen and let's dig in right away. And as you know, I like to always start with a joke. And the joke, oh, sorry. Yeah. So here. The joke this time is related to the tax deadline because you know October 15 is coming, September 19 is behind us. So they're talking here, let's celebrate that there is no deadline for complaining about taxes. All right, so what is strategy I'm talking about today is the leveraged charitable land donation, which we try to turn the real estate into tax savings. And we're talking about leveraging the tax code 170. All right. Why this strategy matters? Because again and again, taxes are often your largest lifetime expense. As a real estate investor, you frequently hold highly appreciated illiquid asset. In this case, we're talking about illiquid lands. And you want to leverage, or the benefit of this donation is that you can eliminate your capital gain for this highly appreciated asset, and you can generate a charitable deduction that far exceeds your investment, and at the same time, it provides philanthropic impact. All right, what is Section 170 in the tax code? It allows you deductions for donations to qualified charities. It has to be qualified charity. You cannot just be helping someone with some needs. It has to be some qualified charity that's recognized by the IRS as so. It's applicable to cash and property, and most people they're familiar with donating cash. They're also familiar with donating maybe your clothes, your household items to some non-for-profit out there. But you know that the deductions are limited. If it's a cash donation, then it's up to 60% of your AGI. If it's an appreciated property, then up to 30% of your AGI. And any excess, you can carry it forward for 5 years. That's just a general overview of the whole section. So we have, as a landowner, some strategic options because the property can be used in multiple ways. It can be developed for income, so it can be developed like you do some the investment opportunities that are available out there. They do mining, agriculture. They do a couple of other development to generate income. They can donate it to get an immediate tax deduction, or they can hold it for long term, and then there is potential sale, appreciation, or donation. Those are some of the options available. All right, the land donation, the strategy that we're talking about today, it's the donation of the land subject to leverage like mortgage or high value appraisal. It enables the deduction well above your original cash contribution. So you contribute X, but when you take a deduction, you take it multiple X. It can include conservation easement or partial interest gifts and often pursued as part of partnership structures. So this is not something that you can do really on your own, or like I guess you can, but that's not what we're referring to. We're referring that you can do this through a partnership structure where the investors share allocation of deduction. And this is part of the investment that are available and I'm talking about today. How it works. First thing that the partnership acquires a land with some development potential. So they just acquire land and they do their due diligence to choose the right land that will have some development potential, as we said, mining, long-term hold, or charitable donation. Usually if it's a lot of investors, it goes for a vote after the development, whether they continue with it or they donate it. And some people the vote, or most of the people donate vote for donation in order to get the tax deduction, because now you get the deduction of the appreciated value, not of what you put in. So the deduction value often exceeds your initial investment, like 4 or 5 times, and we're going to see that with numbers in a later slide. This strategy provides tax savings and, as we said, philanthropic impact. All right. What is the benefit of this strategy? First of all, massive tax deduction. It can exceed 4 or 5 times your initial investment. There is a capital gain avoidance because you don't pay taxes on the appreciation. No, you take the deduction of the appreciation. And if it's illiquid land, now you get the liquidity. You turn the unproductive property into tax-efficient gift. And you have multiple strategic options, either income generation, donation, or long-term hold. Depends really on your goals and what you need. And as we said, philanthropic impact because it supports charities, conservation, and community projects. Are there risks included? Of course, yes. First thing, this is a large deduction that you take in your tax return. So the large deduction relative to the investment are reportable via Form 8886, which is considered listed transaction by the IRS. There is an audit risk because the IRS may challenge the valuation, like why you valued the land to be 5 times. What is this valuation based on? The donation procedure, the file compliance. So you really need to be like partnering with the right partnership that has all of this in mind and has its compliance file in order. Because the penalties are accuracy related, valuation misstatement, preparer penalty, interest on disallowed deduction. So there is various penalties if this went wrong. Appraiser risk, as we said, that appraisals are not binding on the IRS. So it's not enough that you have an appraisal that says that this value has an X amount. Values can be reduced by the IRS. Return-wide review, because they don't only just audit this part, they audit the entire federal return, but most of the time it's only on the partnership level, not on the partner's level. All right. Okay, why are we talking about this as a tax strategy? Let's talk numbers. So if you contribute $100,000 into one of those investments, then the land gets developed, they do mining, they do whatever, and then they donate it at a value of $500,000. This is the appraised land value that you donated. You get a deduction of 500,000. So you get a charitable deduction 5 times what you put in, the investment. So this deduction would be subject to the 30% AGI, as we said, and you have 5-year carry forward. You avoid the capital gain on the 400K appreciation between what you invested and what you donated. So if your AGI is 1 million, 30% of that, 30% of that is 300K. So your deduction 500K gets only limited to 300K, and you carry forward 200K to next year's, to the next 5 years. It depends on what's your AGI for the next 5 years. If you have a 2 million AGI in your current year, then you get to have the 500 fully deductible because 30% of your 2 million is 600. So you get to deduct the whole thing in the current year. All right, donation versus sale comparison. So if they decide to donate, then again, as we said, you get 500K. I'm sorry, this is 500K, not just 500. 500K deduction for at the 37% marginal rate, and we're talking only about federal. We didn't talk about state. You get a 185 tax saving. So what was out of your pocket was 100K that you put into the donation. You claim 500 your charity, you got 185 tax saving to reinvest. So you put in 100, you got back in tax saving 185. This is a $85,000 free that you didn't do much with and it most of the time is in year one that you can take and reinvest as you wish. If they decide to sell, then you have a 400 capital gain. You pay capital gain, so at 20%, this is like 80K. And so your out of pocket is the investment, the 100K plus the tax, so 180K. But you get the remaining, the capital gain minus the tax due. This is the net proceeds that you get to reinvest. Okay, so in either case, you're winning. But if you don't do anything at all, you pay 85K at least to your to the IRS, and you're not benefiting from it. So that's the least of the benefits of this strategy. Okay, from a tax standpoint. I hope that makes sense. All right, final takeaways. Delivered charitable land donation can provide substantial tax benefits. There is a high IRS scrutiny, full compliance and disclosure required. It requires professional appraisals and legal and tax guidance, and it's best suited for sophisticated, high-income investors seeking charitable impact. Smart charitable planning is not just about giving, it's about maximizing impact and tax efficiency while supporting causes you care about. So this is mainly important. If you're into donating, then this strategy could help you take the effect of the donation 5 times than what you originally put in as a donation, or in this case, considered investment. You can definitely consult with your tax, legal, and valuation professional before pursuing a leveraged donation. Plan early, document thoroughly, and stay compliant with the IRS regulations. All right, and here are my contact information. Please reach out if you want to pursue this a little bit more, if you want to understand it a little bit more, if you have any question about it, feel free to let me know. All right, thank you so much and see you next week.